wait and see who joins us.
Or if anyone joins us.
Thank you to those of you who are joining us. We're just going to wait a few minutes to allow others to join in. Thank you so much. Thanks again for joining us. We're just going to wait one more minute to allow some other people to join our webinar. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this evening. Well, I think we'll make a start. Welcome to this webinar. Welcome to this opportunity this evening to hear from a few universities in the UK about the opportunities to study, particularly to focus on the subject of how a UK university can shape your future career. We're delighted to have this chance to be with you again. I'm sure some of you will have met us before. This is not the first event we've done, but it's the first event we've done using this new StriveScan format. So thanks for taking the time to sign up. And thanks for joining us. I'll just introduce the colleagues that I have with me today to make it easier for them. Not everyone's screen is going to look exactly the same. I'll just go around and call their name. Perhaps they can just introduce where they're from and which university they represent. That would be great. So let's start with Ian.
Hi everyone, my name is Ian. I work for Northumbria University and we're based in the city of Newcastle in the northeast of England.
Great, thanks Ian. And I'll move on to Hamza.
Hello, so my name's Hamza. I am the representative from Nottingham Trent University and surprise, we are based in Nottingham, which is in the middle of the country.
Great, thanks Hamza. And Jill.
Hi, I'm Jill. I'm from the University of Central Lancashire and we're based in the northwest of England in a city called Preston.
Wonderful. And two more guests with us. We have Diane.
Hi, I'm Diane from the University of Kent and we are located in Canterbury. That's our main campus, which is in the southeast corner of the UK, about 50 minutes from London.
Great, thanks Diane. And finally, I'd like to introduce Harvey, who's joining us today from Cairo. Harvey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Harvey and I'm an alumni of LJMU. I studied BA Marketing and I graduated in 2019.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Harvey.
Did you hear me? Yeah.
We heard you. Yeah, thank you so much. Brilliant. So for those of you who've joined us before, what we like to do is to focus on a particular subject. We want to give you plenty of time to ask questions. We're also going to take some time to hear from Harvey later to hear his experience of studying in the UK, particularly the benefit he found in doing part-time work while he was here in Liverpool. But as you'll have noticed, we're a group of universities from around the UK and we're committed together to giving you the opportunity to think more about the options of studying in the UK broadly, and then specifically to ask all of us any questions you might have. So do take the opportunity to ask us questions. Of course, for those of you who are very familiar with Zoom, no doubt, you can do that by using the Q&A section. So as the presentation continues, please write any questions in the Q&A section, and we will, of course, answer those at the end. We've got a couple of questions for you as well that we're going to ask as we go along. But I'm going to hand over now to my colleague Diane from the University of Kent. And Diane's going to do the majority of our presentation today. So I'll hand over to Diane. Thank you so much, Diane.
Right, thank you, Matthew. Now, you'll have to bear with me. I'm not technologically gifted, but anyway, let's see how we can get on with this. So, what we thought that we'd do today would be we want to talk a bit about how universities in the UK can help you with your future career. Now, we kind of understand that most of you want to study to enable you to get a good job. And us, as a group of 6 universities, we really understand that, you know, it's your career that's very important, and we're very focused on preparing you for your future job and to be successful in your future career. So as universities, and especially us as a group of 6, that's really what we're focused on, is giving you as many chances to improve your skills that employers want. So what we thought we'd first do is ask you a question. So the question is, what do you think that is the most important quality that a future employer is looking for? So we've got a few different options here. Do you think the most important quality that an employer would be looking for is that you're organised, that you have a degree, that you can make a great cup of tea, or you have great ideas? So if you can do whatever you have to do to vote in this poll, and do that now. Is that?
That's fantastic.
It says
perfectly well.
Yeah, can that?
Yep, I think pretty much everybody has voted.
Oh, really? Okay.
Person, yeah. I take it you can't see that, Diane, is that right?
I can't see that.
Okay, so I will share the results. I'm not sure. Can you see that now or not?
Okay, right. Yes, I can. So that's interesting. So no one said you can make a great cup of tea. If I was employing someone, that would be the main thing that I'd be looking for. But that is interesting, and I'm just now going to share with you results of a survey that The Guardian did. And these were the top 10 things that employers are looking for. So the first one was that you're organised. So that is the top thing that an employer is looking for. They want their future employees to be organised. Also important are communication skills, that you're motivated, that you're qualified. And this could be to do with professional qualifications for a specific industry, such as accountancy qualifications, that you're flexible. And to have a degree comes 6th. Now, this may be quite surprising. It kind of surprised me that it's kind of way down the list of things that employers are looking for. They want commitment, and they want people who are passionate about their jobs and industry. They want to see a track record, as in, you know, what experience have you got? And innovation or good ideas or whatever is number 10. So basically, a degree from your university is great, but sometimes it's not enough. It will get you into job interviews and whatever, but you do need the right mix of skills and personal qualities to be successful and to open the doors to job opportunities. So really focusing on exactly what employers want. As we said, they want qualifications. Obviously, you do need specific qualifications for specific roles. But it's these transferable skills that employers are really interested in. So some examples here of transferable skills: decision making, team working, time management, communication, leadership, problem solving, critical thinking, negotiation, presentation skills. All these skills are ones, basically, I type of think that you can't learn from a book. These are skills that are important to employers, but you need to demonstrate that you have got these skills in order to get the job you want. Employers also want to see experience. So whether that's through a placement, an internship, volunteering, so they'd like to see what you have done. It doesn't have to be linked to the job, but they want to see sometimes that you have got some kind of experience. And they want to see your motivation as well. What attracts you to the role? What's your motivation? So what we want to do as universities, we want to give you all of these things. We want to prepare you for and give you all of these tools, or as many as possible, so that you can be successful looking for your dream job. So I'm just going to look quickly at how we do this as universities, and I'll give you some examples of what we do as a group of 6, what we offer in our universities that will help you develop these skills during your programme, through extracurricular activities and through the work experience opportunities we offer. So first of all, during your programme of study, these transferable skills that I mentioned before are built into our programmes. So you will be doing work in small teams, in small groups. So that's a group working transferable skill ticked off. You could also demonstrate through working in groups as well as teamwork. It could be leadership because you've led that group. You will be doing lots of presentations. There you go, your presentation skills, another one ticked off. So we as universities are very conscious of building all of these transferable skills into the programs that we offer. We also have many industry-led projects, again, built into your programs. There's a few examples here. In my university, we have something called Pitch It, where a company will come in and explain maybe some problem or what a situation that they've got in their company. And the students will go away, work on that problem. The company will come back a few weeks later and you will pitch your ideas to the company. And very often the company might take you on as an intern. CJAM is something at UCLan. Jill, did you want to say something about CJAM?
Yeah, sure. So the CJAM events that we deliver are all subject oriented. So no matter what program you're studying on, you will have your own bespoke CJAM event. And this is where we invite professionals from the relevant industry to come in and interview with our students. So the people that are invited into the university who represent the industry must be in positions where they are able to offer students a job or an internship or a placement, that kind of level of staff member. So those are some really vital networking opportunities that students are afforded when they are studying with us.
Thank you. And there are things like, again, in my university, Kent, we've got this thing called Aspire, which I think is very similar to something that Matthew mentioned at Liverpool John Moores University, their Centre for Entrepreneurship, where basically we are encouraging entrepreneurship. You can even start your own business with the support of the university. So this is, while you're studying with us, you can explore all these different ways of getting experience. You can also get work experience as part of your program. I think most of us have law programs, and very often good law programs will give you the opportunity of working in their law clinic, and sometimes you can do that as a module as part of your program, so you get real life hands-on experience of dealing with law issues. People will come in, members of the public will come in with their legal issues, and you can be helping them. So lots of different work experience which is built in to your program. And also throughout your program, the career service will be, in all of our universities, will be very important in helping you develop the skills that you need. We offer careers fairs to put you in touch with employers, mentoring schemes, and all of us will help you with CV preparation, any application forms you might need to have to fill in, your interview skills, aptitude tests. So as universities, our career service will offer you lots of services, and towards the end of your program, you'll be looking at the big banks of graduate vacancies that we've got, so not just in the UK, but throughout the world, we will have lists of the graduate vacancies available. So extracurricular activities, which will again help you build these skills and demonstrate to future employers that you've got the skills. So volunteering is a great way to gain these skills and experiences. All of us will have volunteering schemes, whether it's local organisations or worldwide organisations. And again, at UCLan, they do something called one-off Wednesdays. So you don't have to sign up to months of volunteering. I think this is like a bit of a drop-in where you can volunteer when it suits you, which again, great things to have on your CV. We all have sports and other kind of cultural or interest societies in our universities. Getting involved in those, again, will give you lots of the skills that we've been talking about. And university schemes which operate outside of your programme of study. So again, there's a scheme called employability points, where you can do certain activities outside of your courses, gain and get certain number of points for these things, and then at the end of the year you can cash your points in for something like, you could even do an internship. We'd organise an internship for you, or just a session with a career service. There are volunteering awards. Again, at UCLan, there's a volunteering award scheme. Again, Jill, do you want to have a little word about that?
Yeah, sure. So we have got it called the LIVSI Award. And so this is for students who have logged a significant number of volunteering hours. So you will get the award, you'll get the certificate, you get that recognition for your CV to say that you have done all of these fantastic hours of volunteering work.
Great, thanks. As well as extracurricular activities, there's work experience that you can get while you're studying. So you can do a part-time job. So if you have a student visa, you can legally work up to 20 hours a week, or during term, or full-time during the vacations. And this part-time work could be on campus. So I think most of us have got, well, all of us have got opportunities where you could work as a student ambassador. That could be anything from talking to future students. I think down here is the photo of a student ambassador team. And then up here is an outreach activity. So you could get involved in going into local schools, doing some outreach work for the university. We've got catering and food establishments on our campuses, and there could be job opportunities there, or off campus within hospitality industry or in supermarkets. You can get a wide variety of jobs which will help you gain some experience. So another question for you. Matthew, do you want to do the poll thing?
I will do. Bear with me 1 minute. Thank you. Just going to bring that up now for you. Great.
So the next thing we want to talk about are the placements that we offer as a university, or as universities. So when we're thinking about placements, which of these is correct? A year in industry is different to a placement year. You won't receive a salary. You must do your placement in the UK, and the size of the company doesn't matter. Which of those is correct? 3 of those are wrong, 1 is correct. So have we got those, Matthew?
Absolutely. Just let 1 or 2 more people cast their vote.
It's a bit of a tricky one, this one, maybe. Is it? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, well, not too tricky, because the majority of you got it. Yeah, the size of the company doesn't matter. So the term placement year, industry, or sandwich program, it's the same. They mean the same things. It's just a year working as part of your program. It's usually between years 2 and 3 of your degree, if it's a 3-year program, that you will have a 1-year work placement. And they are usually paid. So we can't guarantee that that every single one of them is paid, but generally they are paid jobs that you will have for the year. You can do them locally. You might be able to find them locally. They might be in London, because that's where a lot of the big companies are. But they're in Manchester, in Liverpool, in wherever in your local environment. Or sometimes you can go back to your home country and do a work placement in your own country. We will help you find a suitable placement in this work experience year. We don't generally just give you something on a plate and say, okay, you're going here, you're going here. You have to do quite a bit of the work in securing the placement. But the university, we will help you, point you in the right direction of available opportunities and help you secure the placement. So a few reasons why you should do a placement, it really gives you a great insight into the world of work, and you can use and develop your skills. It gives you a chance to try out a particular job or a type of company. I, many years ago, did a program at university which involved a work placement, and that made me realize that I didn't want to actually work in where I did my work placement. I did it in HR. It was a great placement, but I just had a thought, no, maybe HR is not the thing for me. So it gives you a chance to try out something, which is, you know, sometimes a very valuable thing to do, to discount a certain area. As I said, they're usually paid, so it will help you financially. They're usually, you know, graduate kind of salary jobs, so you can support yourself for that year. You might even be able to save a little bit of money for when you go back to university for your final year. You would be, from the skills and things that you've got and the experience that you've had from your placement, this could go into your final year project. So you've got real life examples to use in your final year project or dissertation. And very often we find that students who've done a placement will end up getting a better degree classification. So more students will get a first or a 2-1 if they've done a placement. When you're applying for jobs later, you can use your placement employer as a reference, which will help, presuming you've done a good job, of course. And you will already have had some experience in dealing with applications and interviews. So you've got those skills, or you've started, you know, developing those kind of skills. We find that students who've done a placement have a higher chance of getting a job when they graduate, and tend to get a higher salary than those students who haven't done a placement. And last but not least, quite often we find that students who have done a placement, they will end up getting an offer of a job from their placement company for when they graduate. So lots of reasons why a placement year is or year in industry, whatever you want to call it, is a good idea. So I'm sure you've heard about the graduate route visa. So this also will help you with working and getting work experience. This is available to anyone who graduates with a UK degree. It's open for applications on the 1st of July this year. It's not restricted by subject area or by nationality. It's wide open. You can do any kind of job, any kind of work. There's no minimum salary level. You don't have to be working, you can be looking for a job, but obviously you have to support yourself while you're looking for a job. And you can switch jobs as well. So it's very flexible route, and there's no cap on the number of people who can benefit from this. But at the end of a 2-year period, you can get it for 2 years. You'll have to leave the UK, or you can apply for a different kind of visa if you'd like to stay in the UK. You don't need sponsorship, but there is a charge for it, and you still need to pay for the National Health Service surcharge. So a bit of information there about this opportunity for students to stay on and work after they've graduated. So that's just about it. I think we've got a couple of last questions. So Matthew, if you want to bring up the poll.
Absolutely, yeah. We're just going to check you've all been listening really intently, see if you learned some amazing things from Diane. It's really, really useful information, Diane. Thank you so much. So I'll put up a couple of questions just to see if you managed to take in all the information that she shared. That would be great. As I said, shortly we're going to be hearing from Harvey, who is one of our alumni from Liverpool John Moores University, and is from Egypt. He's currently living in Cairo. It's always good to hear from students themselves sharing their experience of studying in the UK. I think one of the fantastic things, one of the last things, of course, that Diane referred to is this new graduate route visa, which new students studying with us now in the UK who graduate from this summer onwards have that opportunity. But I won't answer the question because it's on the screen.
So, a few questions. How many hours a week can you work if you have a student visa? How many years can you stay in the UK on a graduate route visa? And which of these is a transferable skill?
I think playing the piano is a marvellous skill, of course.
Of course. And typing.
I think
Okay.
most had a stab at the questions. Let's pull up the answers so you can remind us, Diane.
Yeah, so absolutely. How many hours a week? You can work up to 20 hours a week if you have a student visa. You can stay for 2 years on the graduate route visa, and leadership skills are the transferable skill. Playing the piano is a great skill to have, but that's kind of a learnt kind of thing. You know, a transferable one really is that you can demonstrate that you've got this skill and can adapt to different situations. So just to finish, there's a little bit of information here. You can look at university websites and look at their careers and employability services to see what they offer. Have a look at the gov.uk website for information about the visas, and UKISA gives lots of information for international students about working and studying, or studying and working in the UK. And then here are our contact details. So anytime you want to get in touch with any of us, there are our contact details here, but I think we will be sharing these as well. So please do get in touch with us.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Diane. Maybe if you stop sharing for
Stop
we'll
sharing.
bring that back up.
I've stopped sharing.
I'd like to invite Harvey to join me, if he's able to join me on the screen. We're always keen when we do these events to, where possible, to include some students sharing their stories, whether that's a current student or a student who's graduated in the not so distant history from the UK. It's really great for you as potential students to hear the stories of students like you and to imagine, well, that's something that maybe I too can experience. So let me introduce Harvey. Hopefully the technology will work. It's always a little challenging when we rely on Zoom and internet connections, but I'm feeling confident. Harvey, do you want to introduce yourself? I'm hoping you can unmute yourself. I can't quite hear you, Harvey. You're possibly muted. There you go.
Yes. Again, fallen into this trap again.
Don't worry.
Yes. Thanks for this opportunity, Matthew. And like I said during the first 2 minutes of this webinar, my name is Harvey. I studied BA Marketing at LJMU, Liverpool John Moores University. And I graduated in July 2019, and now I'm back in Cairo and working as an assistant brand manager.
Fantastic. So what company do you work for at the moment in Cairo?
Well, that's complicated to explain. I work as a assistant brands manager because I work in a marketing consultancy firm, which manage number of brands that are usually known in Egypt, like fast. All of them are in food, which is exactly from the name, food experts. We manage food chains in Cairo called Kugdor, Batatas and Zalabia. We have international brands such as Papa John's Pizza, Max Burger, Harveys. So we have a number of mix of brands. And then last summer, I opened my business consultancy firm, which operates in the elective medicine or healthcare providers in Egypt, which we provide training, market research, and HR consultancy.
Fantastic, that's great. And I believe when you came to the UK, Harvey, you first came as a foundation student, is that right? You started in the International Study Centre.
Yes, I studied at the International Study Center, but as an international year one student, not a foundation. So I skipped like the first year.
Great. For those of you who don't know, in the UK, you can join either as a foundation student if perhaps your high school qualification doesn't match the first year of university, or as Harvey did, you can do international year one, which is the equivalent of doing the first year of university. So Harvey would have been 3 years in Liverpool. Harvey, tell us a little bit about some of the extra things you did while you were studying. I know one of the things you really enjoyed was the part-time working you did here in Liverpool.
Yeah, you obviously know because you saw me there. I worked as a member of the team of match day stewards at the Anfield, which is the stadium for Liverpool FC, which was amazing for me as an Egyptian student who loves football, and then watching matches for free, seeing a legendary for your team, which is Mo Salah playing, and you get money. So that was one of the very interesting things I did in Liverpool.
And what would you say you learned from that part-time working experience? Obviously, you had the great experience of watching the football team you love, and of course, it was financially beneficial. But perhaps what did you learn from working with people from Liverpool, from working in a UK setting? What was different? What did you learn?
Well, as Diane said, one of the transferable skills is problem solving, leadership, communication. All of this are the transferable skills which I learned during my time at Anfield. As I said before to many people who asked me, why did I do this? Why did you work during studies? I said this was the purpose of me for traveling in the first place. I wanted to do a work experience during my work, during my studies, because I wanted to know more about the culture. I wanted to engage more with the people in the UK, get an experience from the UK, helped me a lot having like an experience in a British firm like Liverpool, which is very well known in Egypt now, helped me a lot during my job applications. So yeah, I learned a lot.
That's great. While you were studying, obviously when you come to the UK for the first time, it's quite hard, isn't it, to meet people. It's natural to be kind of a bit anxious about that. Did you join any clubs, societies? How did that help you make friends? Was that something you were able to be a part of?
Yes, sure. I did join a couple of societies. I joined the International Society at LJMU, which was very beneficial for me because I met people from different countries, from different cultures, which is a passion for me to meet new people. And then I played with the squash team for a couple of games. I think I went for another meetings with different societies to meet new peoples, but the main society which I enrolled myself in was the International Society.
That's great, fantastic, Harvey. And perhaps one last question for you. What advice would you give for a student who's sitting today in Cairo or Bahrain or Jordan, and they're thinking about studying in the UK? They might be thinking about doing an undergraduate degree like you, or they might be thinking about doing a master's degree. What advice would you give them?
Well, my advice would be that go get that experience. It's not just about the educational content. It's more the experience you get living abroad, living alone maybe, without the help, without the safeguard of the family, without having many things to follow in the during or the routine things you have to do. You just go discover yourself, discover another country, discover new cultures, meet new peoples, which make you more flexible, more agile, which is another thing employers are looking for nowadays. Yeah, you get another experience, you get an advantage in job applications because you have more experience in if we like metaphorically say it's a race, you have a mile advantage because you did different experience, not like people in their country having the normal life, go studying in the uni, coming back to their home, doing nothing except studying. They get a good educational content, maybe close to UK, maybe in some countries and some universities, maybe close to the UK, but you're missing another fun part of the experience.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Harvey, I'm going to invite my colleagues to join us back on screen because I know we've got a few other questions. So please stay with us. Harvey, thank you so much. Those of you listening, if anything you particularly wanted to ask Harvey, do go ahead, but we'll have a look at the questions. Jill, would you mind helping us with the questions that we have? For those of you who are still with us, if you have any other questions you want to ask us, particularly about studying the UK, anything that perhaps that Diane shared that you'd like to ask about, or any questions you want to ask Harvey in particular, then do please fire away with those questions. Hamza's raising his hand.
I'm raising my hand. Yes, Harvey, I have one question for you. It's one of my favorite questions I like to ask. So if you had to do it all again, what would be the one thing that you wish that you knew now that you maybe didn't know when you were applying to study in the UK initially?
Well, a bit more information about Liverpool, about people there, because people in Liverpool are very, very friendly, and I do miss the city now. I do miss the people there. So I'd be interested of knowing more information about how people in the city which I would be traveling in the future, read more, learn how to do things there. I think it would have had much more shortcuts than I did to take a long time to learn things like how to go to the supermarket, how to ride a bus, how to get tickets. Things like this I had to discover by my own after doing some mistakes. But if I did my research before traveling, I wouldn't do that.
Definitely, and I just want to echo what you're saying as well, Harvey. I think a lot of students sometimes don't recognize how multicultural some of our cities that we are based in are. Many of our universities are based in cities that have multiple universities based there. So it is very important that now is the time where you're learning about the universities and the courses and what you'll be studying, but don't be afraid to ask some of those questions that might sound a bit silly, like how do I travel for my accommodation to the university, or where can I buy shopping from? Because the reality is when you arrive in the UK, that will be information that you need to know. So I think the moral of the story is no question is a silly question, ask away.
Exactly, yeah.
Any other questions from my colleagues, or any questions from the students who are listening? Jill, you're waving at me.
No, sorry, I'm on my phone, so it looks like that, but I'm pressing buttons. There is a question in the Q&A actually. How do you know what you want to do after college or university? So I think maybe Harvey, that might be interesting to hear from you. Did you go to university with a specific career in mind? Or did you go for the approach of, I enjoy this subject, I will do this, and explore where that might lead?
Actually, that's a bit funny story for me, because during high school, I was a bit indecisive. So I took subjects to study engineering, and then I took subjects to study computer science. And then finally, during my last year, the senior year, I decided to study business and specifically marketing. After reading a lot about this subject, I thought, yeah, I like this. That's how I'd like live my life working. I'd be passionate about doing this. I was passionate about experimenting new things, trying new things, inspiring people, communicating with mass numbers, creating new things, and maybe discovering new products, which is like many of the foundations of a marketing job. So this is why I decided to go and study marketing. And then all of the knowledge I learned during my 3 years at LJMU helped me a lot to pursue my career.
That's brilliant, thank you. Ian, are you there from perhaps a university perspective? What do you think you would suggest to a student who's contemplating the future?
Contemplating the future in terms of, you know, what they want to do, or finding out more about what they want to do in those sorts of terms, Jill.
Sorry, the specific question, let me just find it again. Ah, it's gone.
Oh, sorry, I deleted that because we're answering it. But no, I think yeah, it was around, you know, how do we know what we want to do after we complete our studies. I think it was something along those lines. My suggestion would be to immerse yourself as much as possible in all the things that universities offer, aside from obviously the degree itself. So Harvey's obviously touched upon some of the things he did, you know, in terms of employment and other things he was involved in. And I'd say any opportunity to get involved in societies or to gain work experience, just absorb all the opportunities that you can, and that'll really help you discover what your passion is. And there are loads of opportunities. I know that for our collection of universities, you know, there's just so much going on all the time. So just check out as much as you can.
Fantastic. I can see we've got a couple of questions that have come through. Who amongst us is an art specialist? What do most universities look for in a portfolio for art-related courses?
I mean, I'm happy to take this one. We do a lot of art and design and fashion courses. So, I mean, from speaking to lecturers, there's a misconception that there's a lot of focus on just drawing ability. There is focus on that, but a lot of universities want to see research done into the drawings that you've done in your portfolio. They want to see what has inspired you to do that work. And most importantly, they want to see what your thinking has been from maybe your initial sketch to your final piece. The reason why they want to see a lot of annotation and a lot of explanation with your pieces of artwork is because they want to see what you were thinking when you were doing this work together. Art and design courses sometimes are a little bit different to maybe business courses because they do give students a lot more autonomy and a lot more responsibility of their own work and their own projects. So universities like to see that in a portfolio. Now, our universities might have different requirements, but generally, from my experience, universities look for between 5 to 10 pieces of art, maybe 2 or 3 showing the stages from the initial sketch all the way to the end. But we really like to see that explanation as to what has inspired you and why have you decided to do that work the way you did as well. If you're ticking those boxes when putting a portfolio together, then more often than not, you should be receiving offers. And as well, not to forget, the academics are just as important as the portfolio.
Can I just say, hello, that was from Rahaf, and I know you've applied to the University of Kent, because I think we spoke the other day. So hello.
Great.
That's all I wanted to say.
Fantastic, fantastic. We've got a couple more questions. We're going to have perhaps just 5 more minutes. So if there's something you really want to ask, do take the opportunity to do that now, whether that's to one of the colleagues here from different universities or indeed from, if you want to ask Harvey anything, Harvey, of course, who's currently in Cairo. So I'll ask a question. Engineering. What do universities look for engineering students? Maybe Ian would like to have a stab at that one.
Yeah, so in terms of applying to do an engineering course at Northumbria, there are subject requirements. So before you get going, you are going to want to think about, do your subjects that you study at school, or do your qualifications match the qualifications needed to undertake an engineering course? Also, what type of engineering are you interested in? So there's a broad spectrum of engineering courses, from mechanical, electrical, automotive, construction, whole spectrum out there. So, do your research, find out what it is that you want to study in particular. And what we also want to see is a real passion for engineering as well. So when you complete your application, you'll be asked to submit a personal statement as part of that. And what we want to see is why it is that you want to study that particular course. So you want to talk about, all of your experiences, your passions, and make that really stand out on paper too.
Fantastic. Thanks very much, Ian. And perhaps one last question, and I'm going to ask Jill, if I may. So in general, when I'm applying to the UK, whether I'm applying for an art degree or I'm applying for computer science or I'm applying for graphic design, how do I choose that university? How do I make that decision? How do I know even which universities have all those different courses? Where do I start? And then how do I know if I'm actually good enough for those courses, if I've got the right qualifications? What advice would you give us, Jill?
Oh, that's a tricky one, isn't it? I guess the answer to that is research. Nobody's going to do it for you. For me, what I would start with is looking at what universities offer the course that I'm interested in. And the first place that I would look for that is actually through the UCAS search website. So you can just go and search your subject area through UCAS. It doesn't mean you have to apply that way, but you can just find out what universities offer the course that you're interested in. And then I'd start to think possibly about what part of the UK I might want to study in, or I'd look at the modules that are taught in each of those different courses, and I'd just do a simple pros and cons list and start my work that way. But the key is that research, and talk to the representatives and find out about the university, about where it is, about what's unique about their programme, what the results are like, what's all those statistics, they are important. Research the areas as well. We've got Google Maps, use it to have a look around to see what the cities are like, and talk to our students. That's what they're there for, to share their experiences. So you've got people like Harvey who've been through it. They know exactly what you're going through. Possibly we could ask Harvey the same question. How did you narrow down your options? Where did you start, and how did you make that final decision? It's not easy, but it's an interesting way to explore the whole of the UK just through universities, I guess.
Why did you choose Liverpool, Harvey, or how did you narrow it down? I'm hoping you can still hear us. We'll give Harvey a second to see if he can reply.
Matthew, your skills at talking to him about LJMU, you sold it. Nothing to do
well, possibly, but I think the truth is actually Harvey started possibly at the university before I started working here. Thank you for not to worry, Harvey, if you're having IT issues, not to worry. It does lead us on quite nicely to remind you about the other events that we're going to be running. For those of you who signed up for this, thank you for signing up. But what I would encourage you to do is look on that website that you signed up on, the StriveScan website, where you signed up for. Harvey, we can just about hear you. Can you hear me now again? I think unfortunately your IT has your internet connection has failed, Harvey. So I think we'll have to leave Harvey's contribution.
Like I came through from the third.
Okay. I think Harvey's had too many issues with the IT. Our apologies, we couldn't hear what Harvey wants to say at the end. But all I wanted to say to finish really was a reminder about the opportunities you have to join with us over the next 4 weeks. Next week, we're going to be running another session, which is going to be looking at hearing from a group of our international students. And hopefully the internet connection will be better. So next week we'll be hearing from.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
different universities. We'll be hearing their experiences. So do join us next week. The week after that, we're going to give you an opportunity to hear specifically from the 6 universities that are represented in our group. And you have a chance to ask us specific questions. So what I would be really grateful is if you would not only join us next week, but share it with your friends. Promote it on Facebook, on Instagram, or around your school network. Encourage some of your friends to come along. They can meet students like Harvey, hear their experience, but also ask us some questions and find out more about the options for studying in the UK. Our apologies for the IT issue right at the end. It's always going to be a possibility when we try and work across continents. So let's finish by saying thank you to our colleagues, thanks to Harvey, and we hope to see many of you next week. Have a fantastic evening and take care.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.